Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. We are closing out Pride. Our next guest is an educator, activist, astrologer, and founder of the Rooted Zodiac. The Rooted Zodiac centers the experiences of queer and trans Black, Indigenous people of color through archival portraits and holistic products, featuring radical queer BIPOC ancestors according to their zodiac sign. And here now, to share more, we welcome herbalist, astrologer, and the Rooted Zodiac founder, Mckenzie Angelo Martinez. Hello and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, this is such a beautiful opportunity to be coming talking. I'm not from the Bronx. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm outing myself as someone from Brooklyn, but I love to be here. We're not going to come at me for it.
We're not going to hold it against you.
But it's just so beautiful to be able to share this space with y'all and to be able to share the stories of these ancestors. And so just thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you for trucking it all the way up here to the Bronx from Brooklyn. Right? Yeah, no. And, you know, I think the work that you're doing is really, really important. And I find it extremely fascinating how you've chosen this this platform, right? Because as I was doing my research, I kept sitting with like, okay, how does a high school teacher go from teaching the next generation and doing it in this free-spirited manner, if you don't mind me saying so, because you already know I'm a Sag. Yes. I'm going to say it the way it is. Into preserving history, seeking out individuals that I want to say most people wouldn't really know about, honoring them and their ancestry, but specifically to honor the queer and trans community. Through tea, through astrology. So please explain all of this.
Okay, how did we get here?
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, I think they're all different threads of the same story. So I'm a Leo sun. I have a Libra moon and Leo rising. So I literally like cannot do things that don't align with my spirit. Like it just does not work. And so through teaching, I've found that, you know, young people and I think people in general really need teaching to be sexy. They need to be enticed by information. They need to have some sort of tangible thing that can bring them to the work, right? And so that's where the creation of products came in. We live in a capitalist society. We live in a society that loves material things and that loves being able to have some sort of momentum that they can take with them. And so I kind of came to this work as like being like, okay, what do we need? We need herbal medicine. We need, you know, aromatherapy products. We need things that make us feel good and look good as like queer BIPOC folks and queer and trans BIPOC folks specifically. And so I wanted to make herbal teas. I wanted to make herbal smoke blends, particularly as a form of harm reduction. I'm someone who was, you know, I'm a smoker. I have asthma. And so many people in our community also share those same identities and have been heavily targeted by the tobacco industry. And so regardless of the political things behind that, the reality is that these are products that we use. And so I wanted to create healthier versions of those. And so that's why I turned to the kind of herbal medicine to create the teas and the smoke blends.
So which came first, herbs, astrology, or art?
They came all at the same time.
Really?
Right? It was a big, beautiful combustion of ideas. And so the idea for me was that like, there's an immediate connection between the herbs and the astrology. So there's this theory called astroherbalism. And so essentially, like each zodiac sign has a ruling planet. So for example, for you, you're a Sag.
Thank you.
Right?
You better talk about this. So we're gonna like, yeah, give me some insight.
So you're ruled by the planet Jupiter. So a lot of the herbs they put in the Sagittarius products are herbs that are Jupiterian herbs. So these are herbs that help you feel more expansive, herbs that help you kind of like feel more connected to your truth, to your spiritual path, things like that. And so I kind of took those kind of like delineations from the zodiac sign and used this thing called the doctrine of signatures, which looks at the different properties of the plants and made a lot of those connections. And luckily, you know, because of being a part of this generation, there's been so much research that's already happened. And so I was able to kind of pull from ancient texts and things like that to kind of get these herbal melodies together. Yeah.
Yeah, no. This is so fascinating. I could just sit here and listen to you, right? And so, but I want to make sure that our viewers understand the meticulousness that you have implemented in your designs, in even in your intentions.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I was looking at this in your shot, and it's so beautiful and colorful. And then we have these cards, and while I love that you were speaking to my sign in this particular moment, herbs, Jupiter, I really want to make sure that they understand that you have chosen the path of honoring the ancestors from this particular community. And I'm very curious to know of how you found out about them and how you were able to associate them with, I guess it's through their signs, right? You said through their astrology signs, their astrological signs.
Yes, absolutely.
But then the herbs, right? So is
Yeah,
that the
I
same?
can break that down for you.
Yes.
Sure. So the people that I chose were all folks based on their birthday. So I have a massive spreadsheet of over 360 different ancestors where I've organized their birthdays, I've organized where they're from, kind of taglines about their stories. And then I chose people who I felt like best represented the energy of that sign to put on the different products. So for example, if we start with Aries season, we have Bernice Bing, who is an incredible painter and Buddhist and just activist in the San Francisco area. And she was really one of the pioneering folks and pioneering like Asian voices to be painting. And while she was living, she didn't get a lot of the credit that was due to her for how pioneering she was. And so that pioneering spirit is something that's often connected to the Aries energy because it is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the baby of the zodiac. It's kind of, you know, they're a cardinal sign, so they take initiation, and they're a fire sign, so they take initiation through action and through creating something that is new. And I think that's something that really Bernice Bing really embodied in her lifetime. And so that's why I chose her, for example. And so the stories of the ancestors is where the history teacher part comes in. I was a history teacher for a long time. And I felt like I have to include these stories. It's so often that we don't see our stories included on material things. Our stories have been erased. Archives are getting destroyed constantly, even to today, where we're talking about banning books and burning books that share our stories. So I felt it was really important to connect to those ideas and to have the stories be there.
So while we just showed imagery of this zodiac boxes, I would like us to share, I mean, I'm calling them boxes, I don't know what you refer to them as, but they're actually cases or something. So can we open one?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Maybe share a little background on it? How about we do Cancer, since it's Cancer season?
Absolutely. Okay. So what this is an herbal smoke blend. So it has different organic herbs that can be used either in the form of a tea or as a smoking alternative to tobacco.
Yeah, you can show it to us. Oh, look. Okay.
There you
so
go.
I want to show it to everybody. So this is herbs, right? Oh, wow, it smells good. Okay, and so this can be used for multiple purposes.
Exactly. So it can be used as a smoke blend, it can be used as incense, it can be used as an herbal tea. So kind of all the different kind of ritual practices that I feel like a lot of queer and trans BIPOC folks do, these things can be used for that. So this blend has Egyptian blue lotus in it, it has plantain leaf in it, herba santa, and also a little bit of chickweed. And so those are all herbs that are connected to the moon or lunar herbs because Cancer is ruled by the moon. And then Frida Kahlo is a famous Cancer, a Cancerian artist. I think a lot of folks probably know a lot of information about Frida.
Right.
But it's really beautiful how she embodies Cancer energy. I mean, her entire story of taking her physical pain and chronic pain and quote unquote illness or disease of the body and transforming it into art and using it as a way to like protect herself and create her voice in the political realm is such a Cancer trait. So I wanted to make sure she was included.
Yes, no, and she's an icon, Frida.
There you go.
And we loved how liberal she was.
Exactly.
I think that's why everybody loves her, because she didn't care.
No, she gave a fuck.
All right, so again, each one of these has a different herbal blend that is related to the zodiac sign, that is blended according to the planet that their zodiac sign is associated with.
Exactly, you got it.
All right.
You did that. Come on.
I got an A, teacher.
Sagittarius are really good at making the connections.
Thank you. And so these cards that we have here, the cards?
Yes, for sure. So part of the work is the products are kind of like the entry point. But the real work is that I'm working on an exhibit called 360 Degrees of Queer Life, which is going to document and show the stories of 360 different ancestors, kind of one person for each degree on a zodiac wheel. And so these cards are a part of that. And so each one includes an archival photo of the ancestor, a quote from the ancestor, then different crystals and herbs that are associated to the zodiac sign. And then in the sky includes the constellation from the sign and the glyph or the imagery or the symbol that kind of represents the energy of the sign.
And this is your artistry.
And this is my artistry.
Right, so this is nice, wow. That's, like I said, really thought out. So blue, he's got all the rainbow colors, right? And I'm like, look, green,
Yes, we're gonna
and
get you a different color.
orange,
It's a little pink for you.
and pink. And they're all different individuals. And you have, oh, it's even in Spanish.
Yeah, so some of the ancestors, I have quotes in them in English, in Spanish, or in whichever language that they spoke as well.
That's beautiful. And again, it is the BIPOC community. It isn't solely like African or, you know, Latin. It's Asian as well. It's BIPOC.
Exactly.
In its entirety. This is wonderful. And you have 360 of these.
Yeah, so that's the process that I'm working on right now. So I'm also looking to collaborate with different libraries and archives to be able to show different like actual materia from these people. And so the idea is that you'll kind of like, you look at the portrait first, you get this introduction to who they are, and then we actually get to explore, you know, songs from them, quotes from them, books from them, actual things that kind of tether us to what their stories were. So yes, that's the overall idea, is to be able to create this archival artistic space where people can explore these stories.
All right, and that's in person. Now, for now, can they actually visit this digitally?
Yeah, so digitally right now on my website, I've already started to upload some of these graphics. And for the folks who are in person, in August, I'm going to be doing an event with this group called We Finna Talk. And they're in a really incredible up-and-coming young, like QT BIPOC-centered collective that has been hosting conversations and workshops. And so I'll be leading a workshop for them about the stories of the ancestors and the connection to astrology.
Right. So it's like a consolidated deal. You get herbs, education, and art. Whip out. Well, I thank you for bringing it here.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone, Mckenzie, Angelo, Martinez, and once again, we're talking the Rooted Zodiac, and they are the Rooted Zodiac founder. And if you're interested in any of the information we discussed, including the herbs that we demonstrated or were on display, you can visit their website at therootedzodiac.com. Once again, you can visit their website, therootedzodiac.com. And I just want to say happy Cancer season, all right? And also, you know, to honor those who have paved the way for all of us to be free, all right? Stay tuned. Our Open Artist Spotlight is coming up next.